Hello, everybody. Tom Brew with you, BoilerMakersCountry.com publisher, and Sports Illustrated Purdue. And welcome to episode 13 of the Sasha Live podcast. In a new location tonight, home sweet home. It's weather pretty rotten up there in West Lafayette, and didn't make any sense to have anybody out on the roads trying to join us at Bad Mushroom Pizza. So we'll do the Sasha Live podcast live from your living room and live from my dining room as well here in beautiful Brownsburg, Indiana. Sasha, welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be back. Unfortunately, we can't be, in person, but this is still just as good.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've certainly, you guys have been very, very busy as a basketball team, and we've got a lot to talk about. We have not spoken in podcast form since a week ago Monday when Zach Edey joined us at Mad Mushroom 2. So in those it's been 10 days, but 4 games in there, and you guys have been very busy, and so we got kind of a lot to cover tonight and a lot to look forward to as well. But the one thing that everybody's been talking about, you guys had this this 8-game stretch, and basically in less than 3 weeks, and there's been some highs and some lows to that, but I mean, still, when it's all said and done, 7-1 and back in first place in the Big Ten. When you look at it as a collective thing, it's all in all, it worked out pretty well for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's been a real tough stretch with everything that's been going on and the amount of games that we've had in a short amount of time. But the fact that we were able to go, like you said, and perform in that stretch, I think is really important for us and to kind of handle that adversity that was thrown at us. I made a comment the other day. We're tired. Everyone's tired in this league, but in order for teams to win a Big Ten championship and do the things that you want to do, I think the teams that overcome those things and battle through injuries or fatigue or anything that comes with the grueling part of this season in the Big Ten scheduling, I think usually is the ones that are most successful. So just constantly having that mindset of being able to overcome those things and have the ultimate goal of a Big Ten championship in the back of our mind is, I think, really important.
Absolutely. It's because it is something that matters. I mean, we've talked about this a lot really from the beginning, that every team has goals, and there's obviously that one ultimate goal. It would be great to win a national championship, but there are many other goals that come along with it. And had that conversation with many people today about like how important is it really to win a Big Ten title or not? And to you guys, it's very important.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, that's obviously, our university and our program is number one all time in Big Ten championships. So obviously we prioritize that as one of our main goals. And, us captains are older guys. We sit down as a team before the season starts and we write down our team goals. And within those team goals, it's always, win a Big Ten championship, win a Big Ten tournament championship, make the Final Four, and win a national championship. So, we're striving for that first one right now, and hopefully, we put ourselves in great position to be successful at that goal and reach that. So, like I said, just doing everything that we can to reach that. You're going to have nights where you're not feeling great. The ball's not going in. Certain things aren't going your way, and but great teams find a way to win, and I think we've done a good job of that within this tough stretch of games.
Yeah, no question about that. And obviously it has been a very tough stretch. It's, and I have said often that to me, the hardest games to win are those sort of mid-February games in the Big Ten, because, every game's a battle. A lot of times you're just basically playing with very limited prep time, for each team. It's not like you're out on the floor for a day or two of full practices, preparing for a team and such. It's just one right after another. And there's, and you've said it very well many, many times, there are no off nights in the Big Ten. There doesn't, even like, Nebraska, who has just one win, when you play Nebraska, you still need to be ready, and every game is such a battle. And you guys have experienced that and seen that. And obviously, since we talked a week ago Monday, the following night you guys had a home game with Illinois, and at that time, it was basically first place was on the line. It was the two of you right there for it, and that sounded from watching the replay of that game on TV. I mean, you could just hear the noise at Mackey throughout that entire broadcast. I mean, that was a night where everybody in every seat in Mackey Arena was into that game from the first tip to the final whistle.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like you said, it had a different type of energy in Mackey that night, and there's a select few games in my career that have been at that just absolute, best atmosphere. Mackey has always has the best atmosphere in the country, but there's been certain games where it's just been a madhouse. It's just chaos, and it's so loud that you can't hear and you can't think straight and all that stuff. But I think that was one of the loudest games I've ever been in my life. I think just obviously with their talent and how good they are, and with us, battling them for a first place position in this league, I think it was such an important game for us. And I thought we did a great job of coming out ready to play. And obviously they're a great team. They played well in that first half, and it was a close game. And then to start that second half, we had a lot of guys step up and play really well. I thought Eric Hunter Jr. did a great job in that game of just kind of leading us in that second half. And Jaden really took over and just showed how, the superstar that he really is. But we had some contributions from everybody. I thought Ethan Morton did a great job in that first half of giving us the lift off the bench, and Caleb first as well. But, it was a big win for us, propelling us on to becoming, on top of the leaderboard again in the Big Ten standings.
Sure. And one thing I did want to ask you real quick too about that, because with Eric Hunter, it had to be tough on him, kind of losing his starting job earlier and playing off the bench and such. But I know we had him on the show. I guess that was December. I think he was on when you weren't feeling well one night. His attitude, he just kept and maintained a good attitude and just kept right on working, because he always knew whether he was starting or finishing somewhere in the middle, that anytime he was on the floor, it was going to be important. And he's had some big, big moments for you guys this last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's really, he's really upped his level of play, like you said, within these last, few weeks. But yeah, he's gonna, even when he wasn't starting for us, you knew he was going to be an integral part of our success, moving forward. So, whether that like I said, whether he's playing, a short amount of time or starting for us or whatever his minutes were getting, he has a large impact for our team, and his ability to defend, his ability lately to really knock down shots. I thought he's done a great job of hitting some big threes for us, especially late in games. But just his leadership too. He's so experienced. We've played in a lot of games together, and his just leadership on the floor, the way he sees things, and we've been in a lot of different situations together where, once we see those kind of certain things happen, I think we're more familiar with him. But he's done a great job. I like you said, he's had the right attitude in attacking, his situation, and I thought he's handled it like a mature veteran would.
Yep, absolutely, and that's the joys of a veteran team. I'm thinking a lot. You guys have seen a lot in your career, especially you and the older guys, you, Trevion, Eric, all that, and then and obviously the younger guys, Jaden and even like Caleb, and first his freshman year, really learning a lot on the fly. It's been a learning experience for all of you, and I think even for you guys, the veteran guys, there's that bit more of a sense of urgency with this year, and you guys know that this is the one and only year for this group, and you've got everything you need to win a Big Ten title and to win a Big Ten tournament title and to make a run in March and April, and it's all there, and and it sort of sense of urgency comes into play every night, and I think we've seen a lot of that, especially like late in games, lately, and I think we certainly saw that in the Maryland game. You guys were on the ropes and in trouble, and we'll talk about that game in a little bit more detail in just a minute. But things like that, where it's veteran leadership, it's no panic, it's tense, but it's no panic. Where you guys are, you guys have pulled out some games, at the end that maybe maybe last year's team doesn't win, or maybe 2 years ago doesn't win, and this year you guys are finding that way to do that. But let's talk about the one hiccup along the way. Obviously, you beat Illinois on a Tuesday night, then you had to turn right around, get on a plane and travel to Michigan the very next day. Didn't really have a whole lot of time on the court to prepare for them, other than the fact that you had just played them the previous Sunday, would certainly help. But then you guys went up there and caught them in an incredibly hot mode, and you guys, certainly couldn't find your way really either on either end of the court, and they blew you out. Really, the first bad loss you guys have had in 2 years, and they got you pretty good, and it just was one of those nights in the Big Ten on the road where just nothing goes right, and you just kind of got to take it on the chin and go forward from there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was kind of the situation, and they're a really talented team, and I think their record doesn't show that. Obviously, they were preseason, favorite to win the league and everything like that. And they have some great players, a lot of great young players on their team, and it's just a mixture of everything. I think when you have such a a massive game, and we're playing Illinois on that Tuesday night. There could always be that letdown factor when you play somebody the next, 48 hours. And I think, I think it's a mixture of that. I think it's a mixture of just defensive breakdowns, focus, concentration, and all those things that go into it. But, it's no real excuse, but I think we were really tired in that sense. And
yeah, it's but I think too when you when you get on the road like that too, because you guys do it at Mackey to people all the time. You just sort of get on a run, and the crowd gets behind you, and you just all of a sudden a little 4-5-0 run turns into 11-0, 13-0 run, 17-2 type runs where it happens, and it gets piled on, and they certainly piled on with you guys that night as well. And like for me, that Michigan team to me is still crazy hard to figure out, because I did an interview with my counterpart up there on my Michigan site, and I told him, I said, the 2 times I have seen Michigan in person, they beat Indiana and Bloomington, like a drum, and then they beat you guys like a drum, and then they've got 9 losses otherwise, and they've lost twice since they played you guys. It's just they're a hard team to figure out, but when certainly they're very talented, and when they're playing well, they're tough for anybody to beat, and you guys got out of there. And then, then you came home. 2 days later, you had Maryland at home, and Maryland's been struggling. They were on a 4-game losing streak. They had given up 110 points to Iowa, 2 nights before coming to play you guys. And they've got an interim coach there in Danny Manning. I don't know how much of a buy-in those guys had, to continue on. And here they had, like I said, they had walked into Mackey losing 4 games in a row. And I really thought, on that Sunday that would be a game that you guys could at home kind of cruise through and take them down. But they gave you everything they could possibly have. And especially earlier in that first half, I mean, I thought they were making it incredibly difficult for you guys to run your stuff. And they seemed like they had a hand up on every shooter. And you guys, they had almost no second chance points. It seemed like they were very ready to play. And I don't know, did the effort that they brought, did that surprise you guys maybe a little bit at all in that game?
I mean, yes and no. I think, obviously, like you said, they've had a lot of things, within their program this past year that have been unfortunate for them, and, somewhat out of their control. And, when you're in a situation like that, like you said, it is hard to sometimes buy in, and maybe there's no end goal when that stuff happens. But you know what? They have a lot of talent on that team. They have a lot of guys that have been there for a while, and a lot of guys that have won a lot of games. Eric Ayala, who unfortunately was hurt for that game and wasn't able to play, is a great player in this league. Dante Scott is a great player in this league. Hakeem Hart can really score the ball. And then Fats Russell is a great addition for them, where obviously, we saw how dynamic he could be on the offensive side of the floor for them. But yeah, you know what? I thought they did a great job of just, of just trying to, muck up the game. I thought they did a good job just kind of taking us out of a lot of things that we wanted to do, and especially in that first half, like you said, they just played really hard, and we just kind of we just had mental lapses, and lack of concentration in certain areas, and I thought they were able to capitalize on that, and then constantly keep it close, and then go on a run in that second half early on, where they kind of got a little bit of a lead, and we had to fight back.
Sure, and then obviously that second half there, you guys down by double digits, made a great run back, and you had a bunch of threes in there to help kind of spur that run and get back in the game. And just from your experience, Sasha, just from being around long enough, you've been in enough games like that where you've been behind and have to sort of make things happen. But it seemed like that from a confidence level with your shot and that even from behind, when you got your looks, you took the shots and you knocked them down, and that was a great second half rally by you guys to get it finished.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was talking about. It's just how you handle adversity, and that's what great teams do. And championship teams are able to win those types of games where you're not playing well, you're not shooting well, you're not having a great night on the offensive side of the floor, but you still find a way to win. So we got done, I think, by 12 in the middle of that second half, and then that last 10 minutes, I thought we did a good job of just turning up and getting consecutive stops on the defensive side of the floor, and then getting good open looks on the offensive side of the floor. But yeah, you know what? I had some good looks where I was able to find myself in the flow of the game, and I was able to knock some down where we were able to kind of get some momentum from those. And I thought Mackey Arena did a good job of giving us a lot of energy when we didn't have a great amount of energy ourselves. So it was a weird game. We didn't play our best, obviously, but I was talking to Mr. Clark Kellogg after the game. I got interviewed, and any win in the Big Ten is a great win.
Absolutely, and Clark knows that well too. I mean, Clark is my age. He's my class, and I watched Clark play a whole bunch of games in the Big Ten. He knows what it's like. And obviously, one last question on there before we take a quick little break. But I think too, like when you get in a role like that, and you get in on a comeback like that to get back in a game, and you mentioned the crowd and such. I mean, you get pretty amped up yourself too, don't you? In a run like that.
Yeah, 100%. It just that's part of basketball is a game of runs. It's one team goes on a, like you said, 5, 6, 7, 8-0 run, and then it's how you handle those things. So they were able to do that early in the second half, and then we found ourselves doing the same thing later in the second half where getting consecutive stops and getting scores, and then Mackey gets real loud, and then you find yourself having more confidence, and it just continues to grow and continues to build, and it's very uplifting as a player when you have that type of support. So we that is a very exciting thing when you're able to do that, and just it helps you continue to get the ball rolling.
Absolutely, yep. And then of course last night you guys beat Northwestern, moved back into first place, and so when we get back, let's take a little break real quick, and get a word from all of our sponsors. We do appreciate, even though we're resting at home comfortably doing the podcast tonight, we certainly appreciate the Mad Mushroom people, because they were the first ones today to say, you guys don't need to be driving, and we don't need to be anyone else driving, and we appreciate them letting us do the show remotely. But Mad Mushroom Pizza people, and of course USA Muffler and Brake, and FML Transport, Hilltop 30 Publishing. So let's take a quick little break and hear from them, and then when we get back, we'll break down the Northwestern game, and then look ahead a little bit to what has suddenly become just a massive game again this Sunday with Rutgers coming into town. So we'll be back right after a word from some of our sponsors.
Basketball season is here. And at Mad Mushroom, we've got Sasha's Special, a medium premium pizza, medium cheese pizza, and medium cheese sticks, all for $33.33. That's a medium pizza. Sasha for $3.
It's good.
And then there's a cheese pizza from the top of the key. Sasha for $3.
It's good.
And those cheese sticks at Mad Mushroom. Sasha from the corner for $3.
It's really good.
Order online at madmushroom.com, where you can get Sasha's Special. We'll see you every week on BoilerMakersCountry.com for the Sasha Live podcast, live from Mad Mushroom Pizza at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. USA Muffler and Brakes is a proud sponsor of the Sasha Live podcast on BoilerMakersCountry.com. They're a full-service muffler and brakes auto repair shop, but also do exhaust, suspension, shocks, struts, alignment, engine diagnostics, tune-ups, and transmission work as well. They have 3 locations in Northwest Indiana at 2300 West 81st Street in Maryville and also at 5960 Broadway in Maryville, with a Portage location at 5853 US Highway 6. USA Muffler and Brakes, proud sponsor of the Sasha Live podcast. Freight Management Logistics is an asset-based common carrier offering flatbed truck services throughout the continental United States, Canada, and Mexico. We're also a proud sponsor of the Sasha Live podcast and very proud of all the work that Sasha Stefanovic does for the Purdue basketball team. We are looking for full-time owner-operators and drivers right now with full benefits, the best pay in the business with regional, local, and over-the-road routes. Contact Freight Management Logistics at fmltransport.com.
All of a sudden, I found myself really feeling a physical release from what I was doing and from the activity. And so I threw the rocks harder and I threw them further. And by the time I was finished, I felt sort of a renewed sense of self, I think, or of maybe just peace in my heart and in my body that I hadn't had for a pretty long time. And so it ended up being a really therapeutic experience that I just wasn't anticipating.
Hello, everybody. Tom Brew from BoilerMakersCountry.com back with you now for the back half of the Sasha Live podcast tonight, doing it remotely from our respective homes. Due to the weather, didn't want anybody out driving around taking care of things and that. So we're happy to make it all work and appreciate the folks at Mad Mushroom Pizza for understanding. And we'll be back at Mad Mushroom Pizza, by the way, next Thursday night. 7 o'clock for the show then, and obviously got a lot of basketball between now and then, but we'll be back there next Thursday, and we'll look forward to that. So come on down and enjoy some food and enjoy the podcast next Thursday night at 7 at Mad Mushroom Pizza. So all right, so let's go back. Last night I went to Evanston, played Northwestern, beat the Wildcats 70-64. They are a team, Sasha, I've been saying for the last 2 months now, both on your podcast and others, that they are a team that is way better than their 12-12 record indicates. They seem to be they play everybody tough, and they've just had a hard time sort of finishing games. There's 2 or 3 teams in this league right now that are just kind of sort of that way, play really, really well and just can't finish games. But they gave you guys everything you could handle. And, I have sort of said all along that one of the joys of your basketball team is that, if there are guys who are having off nights, that other people can pick them up. And, and then last night, Jaden was 2 for 12 from the field, only scored 8 points. You were just 2 for 7, only had 7 points, but still you guys got out of there with a win. And that just to me is just a real testimony of the fact that you guys can score from all 5 positions on the floor, and you got guys off the bench that can come in and really deliver.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we, myself and Jaden, we didn't, score a lot from that side of the floor. We didn't, shoot it well, particular, but we had a lot of guys, contribute in different ways last night. I thought Zach did a good job of, just establishing himself down low, and Travion was huge. I thought he did a good job of passing out of the post really well last night, and scoring when he had his opportunities. And Eric again gave us a great lift where he was able to score and get to his spots and make some big shots down the stretch. But Mason played really well as he has been, just being really tough. And then we had a lot of contributions off the bench from a lot of different guys. So, we had it was a weird environment there. We had a lot of fans that, came out and support us. We have a lot of alumni that are up in the Chicago area. So it was really cool to see, and it was really loud. And, we had a lot of chants going our way and stuff like that. But no, like you said, I think they're a really talented team. I think they have a lot of different players on their team that are super talented. We talked about P. Nance on their team, that we think, he's going to be, next year playing and somewhere in the NBA. And, they got a lot of guys, Boo Buie and Chase Audige. And we have a lot of respect for Ryan Young and the way he's able to score down in the post. He's really aggressive. He's really strong. He always gives our big guys a good test. So they have a lot of different guys that are really good. They run a lot of good actions that get them open shots and slips, and they're just tough to play. So like you said, they've been in real close games, and it's been unfortunate for them to have those games go the other way. But they've really been in every single game this year except for the one that they played against us at Mackey. So it was a good win for us, definitely on the road.
No question. And of course, Illinois lost earlier in the night to Rutgers. Went out there and got spanked. I mean, Rutgers really handed it to them. And people always joke a lot of times in the Big Ten about how home court advantage might be worth 3 or 4 points in a game, but in that series, it was worth 50 points because Illinois beat them by 30 at home and then lost by almost 20 last night. And most of the game they were down 20 in the second half. It was tough. So, but now were you guys at all aware of the fact that Illinois lost and that if you guys took care of business, you'd be back in first, or was that not even a factor last night?
No, we were definitely aware. Before the game, we were kind of checking up on the ESPN Score app and all that stuff. But in general, like we're just big fans of basketball and big fans of games anyway. So we're always keeping up to date on scores and watching a ton of Big Ten basketball. It's one of my favorite things I enjoy watching. But no, we were definitely aware. Going into that game.
One of the things that that people sort of check off negatively about you guys, though, is that because now you guys in December you got ranked number 1 in the country for the first time ever, then turned right around that very next game, lost to Rutgers, and then you guys get into first place in the Big Ten Tuesday night with that win in Illinois, then lost at Michigan, and now here you are, back in first place again, and it's kind of time to start like now with just 5 games to go, just sort of validating everything down the stretch. And Sunday, this Rutgers team, they are on an incredible roll, and it's just like it was in December. I mean, I've always had a lot of respect for that team from last year anyway, because like some teams, when they just walk into an arena, they look like basketball teams, and Rutgers isn't necessarily that way, but the way those guys play, they're just a pain to guard, pain to play against. Ron Harper, Geo Baker, just veteran guys, been there forever. McConnell and Mulcahy's been playing great lately. But like when they beat you guys in December, it was a huge surprise to everyone because they were horrible at the time. They had lost to Lafayette. They had like 3 losses in the non-conference, where they were double-digit favorites in games. They just weren't playing well. And then, of course, Ron hits the shot to beat you guys late and hand you guys your first loss of the season. But now look at them lately. They've beat Michigan State, beat Wisconsin, beat Illinois. They've just been kind of crushing everybody lately. And now all of a sudden you guys are back in first. And a bunch of teams have 4, but you have more wins. But there's Rutgers with just 5 losses right behind you. So like from their end, for sure that you're going to get their best shot on Sunday, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're a very tough physical team, and they're Coach Pikel does a great job of getting those guys ready for big games. And obviously, when you play at their place, and I believe it's called Jersey Mike's Arena now, but it's a great environment. They really feel it. They sell out pretty much now every game. Their fans are crazy. They really get after you, and they really play well at home. And now we get a chance to get them, at Mackey Arena, and they've been playing really great lately. And they have a lot of talent on their team, and obviously Ron Harper and Geo Baker have been in this league a long time, along with some of their other guys, and they just make things tough on you. So from our perspective, playing on defense, they run a lot of great actions, a lot of ball screen actions, and get you helping in different situations. And then defensively, they they try to make it tough. They don't want you to get comfortable on that end. They don't want you to get open looks. They want to make everything tough for you that night. So we definitely have our hands full. They're pretty much one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They've been playing great. They've had a lot of different guys step up, and in order for us to achieve our goal, and like I said, winning a Big Ten championship, these are the games you got to have. And Coach Bain, we talked about after the game. We got 4 games left, and we're gonna have 4 one-game seasons. That's kind of the way you got to look at it. Each game, I say it all the time, but each game, the next game coming up is our biggest one. So, and it literally is right now. Each one is massive for us. So it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, no question. And certainly you guys have, we'll certainly keep the focus to Rutgers on Sunday night. But, your final 4 games, there's not going to be anything easy about any of them. You've got road trips to Wisconsin and Michigan State in there. You've got a season-ending home game against a very desperate Indiana team that might very well be fighting for its NCAA tournament life at your last game. It's going to be a battle for you guys every step of the way. And but I think, and it's not our last question for you is, kind of just to pick your brain on it a little bit. Obviously, whenever you can avenge a loss from earlier in the season, it's always a good thing. It's not necessarily a revenge factor, but just to sort of get them back for them getting you. I think that kind of matters in regards to getting a win against Rutgers, but also with all that's at stake now in regards to winning the Big Ten. This is definitely it's weird to say even when you're leading the conference, but if you want to win the Big Ten, Sunday basically becomes a must-win game, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Whenever you lose to an opponent early on and you're able to play them twice in the Big Ten season, you just really want to split those games. You don't want to be swept by an opponent. Especially one that is currently on the bubble. They're trying to look for their spot in the NCAA tournament, and they've got a lot of great wins on their resume now that have really, propelled them into that spot. Now that they're definitely in that conversation, but no, it's like you said, it's not really a revenge thing or anything. You just, our goal is to win a Big Ten championship, and currently this is our biggest game to get us to that point. Any game that we could win here late is massive for us, and we've put ourselves in a great position. We've worked really hard to get here. We've had some hiccups on the way. We haven't been playing great. We've been playing great early on, and then we struggle throughout the season. It's just the way seasons go, and especially in our scheduling and the Big Ten, the Big Ten schedule and everything like that. But it's going to be a massive game. I think Mackey's going to be really, really, really loud. I think the people are going to really show up for us, and we're going to do everything that we can to get that win and stay on top.
Yep, I know. I'm certainly excited to be there. I think with being a 5:30 start too, a little bit later in the day, I think people will be even a little bit more juiced up. It's certainly going to be a Mackey environment, there that's good. And it was funny because like today, I was just in looking at the last bit of schedule, I was doing a hit on the radio. It's like you guys have 4 games left, and your record against the 4 remaining teams on your schedule this year is 0-3. You lost to Rutgers, lost to Wisconsin, lost to Indiana, and then and there they all are. And of course, I know from experience how much you love doing battle with Michigan State in East Lansing. That's with the zone right there, giving you guys grief all night long. That's always a great environment too. So it's certainly the Big Ten is there for the taking for you guys, but no question these last 2 weeks and change are going to be a whole lot of fun. But that's why you signed up to play basketball in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are the games that you dream of. You're in battle to win a Big Ten championship. You're able to play Rutgers at home when both teams need it. You're able to go to East Lansing when we're all fighting, and Wisconsin when we're all fighting for a chance for it. And then I get my last game at home, my senior night against our rival. So it's it's a privilege to be in this position, and I don't take that for granted. And it's going to be a really exciting finish for us.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, Sasha, thanks again for your time tonight. We appreciate it. Glad that we can make this work the way we did. And Again, thanks to Mad Mushroom Pizza for allowing us to be able to do everything online tonight. And so we will all see you, me and 15,000 of my friends will see you at Mackey Arena on Sunday night for the big game with Rutgers. And we will, of course, I'll see you again during the week, but then I'll see you next Thursday. Actually, Haley Jordan will be seeing you next Thursday at Mad Mushroom Pizza for that. I've got Indiana, Maryland that night, so we'll let Haley grill you that night, and you guys enjoy having fun together too. So that'll be good, and appreciate everybody watching online tonight. It's been great, and appreciate all the comments that come in. And my favorite comment of the night was from Helen S., who says, "Love you 55." So Mom, she's always taking good care of you, Josh. So there, absolutely. So thanks for being a part of the show, and Sasha, enjoy the rest of your day off. Keep your feet up, get some rest, and get to bed early and enjoy yourself. And we'll see you Sunday night and enjoy what should be another amazing atmosphere at Mackey Arena. This is Tom Brew for Sports Illustrated Purdue, BoilerMakersCountry.com, and the Sasha Live Podcast. Thanks for being a part of episode 13 of the Sasha Live Podcast.